All right. Hello, everyone, and now welcome to a game between Blade versus Ling, or 120. This game taking place here on Twisted Meadows version 1.9. I'm still in the days of figuring out. See, I go to scroll out, and it actually scrolls in. Like every time for the first time. I don't know why that is the case, but yeah, it like defaults to scroll back in, and that's just annoying. Anyways, Blade spawning here as the yellow human player at what I'll call the 7 o'clock position. Meanwhile, we have 120 spawning under the name Orange as the blue undead on the top right. Should be a great game, great matchup as things get underway in this classic human versus undead matchup. Eagle-eyed viewers will recognize that I did switch back over to the classic, overlay. For those wondering what was happening, well, minimap is still back here. The colors feel muted, right? They don't feel nearly as bright and vibrant on the minimap. I'm not quite sure why that's the case compared to Reforged, or compared to Reforged pre 2.0. It's difficult for me to tell the difference between walkways and actual trees and be able to figure out the paths, the different paths that you can take on the minimap. But maybe that's just me. Leave your comments in below. Meanwhile, off to the north here, it is going to be a Death Knight going up against an Archmage. A very classic matchup, as the Archmage is pretty much necessary. But we'll see what the second hero is. The Blood Mage has become a very popular hero, as it allows for mana control on those obsidian statues and those undead heroes. Undead heroes taking a little bit longer to fire off all of those spells are all incredibly important, as we're looking at the Archmage now wandering out here and going to be heading straight over to this creep camp. We see a quick ensnare onto that Acolyte, going to go straight after that Forest Troll High Priest. Is the Acolyte going to get the last hit? That is the question. Archmage looking to get the last hit, but the Militia purposely coming around, able to surround and get the job done. All right, there goes another ensnare, a deny from the water, or from the creeps. Acolyte wanted to, I believe, take down that water elemental there, but unable to do so. Scourge Bone Chime is going to be the item dropped. Vampiric Aura now for all of these guys, as the peasants and the units able to fight a little bit better. Are we going to see a surround? Oh, I thought we would have potentially seen a surround right there. There's a death coil onto the Archmage. Archmage taking quite a bit of damage, and unfortunately, because he does have a range attack, he cannot actually benefit from his own vampiric aura. All right, a little bit of damage. Units trying to retreat back to every which corner. Militia also giving a little bit of chase. And it's odd to see, Footman this early in the game actually having the benefit of an aura from a Scourge Bone Chimes. Even with the Archmage's Brilliance aura, they normally are not highlighted like this at all. All right. Still racking up a little bit of damage here. Archmage going to go ahead, head to the shop as Nightfall approaches, quickly sells an item. Is he going to sell that Scourge Bone Chimes too? Nope. Picks up a Circlet of Nobility instead and is now wandering away. Meanwhile, a couple of skeletal minions going to engage here. Blade is still training up more peasants, which indicates he is going to be going for a fast expansion. Over here on the top right-hand side, Necropolis taking the tier 2 as the Death Knight wants to punish this Expo. Over here on the top left, Archmage going to drop a water elemental, perhaps go after the troll trappers here. Death Knight taking a little bit of damage as well, and here we are already off the races. Death Knight going to get some damage onto that Archmage, most likely. Any damage that sticks onto the Archmage is going to be a big problem for that Archmage, as there's no way to easily heal. Meanwhile, the Ogre Magi still fighting here. There is a little bit more damage. Who's going to come across? There's a Death Spell finishing off Footman. Now this is going to be opening up a small window of opportunity for the Archmage to try and finish off more of those targets. Death Coil onto the Ogre Magi though. Blade not able to, reckon or capitalize on that timing, on that cooldown, as the Archmage could be in trouble. It does have Claws of Attack +8, trying to retreat back. There's a Death Coil onto a Forest Troll Trapper. Death Knight taking quite a bit of experience now, as the Archmage still dancing on through. One Quick Beam is down. Death Knight looking to perhaps land in a little bit more damage. There goes another Peasant. We're still seeing a lot of damage getting racked up here. Skeletal Minion going to get finished off, as the Death Knight at 72 mana going to be forced to back away. Scout Tower speed building to this Town Hall economic game coming across from Blade. What is happening here? Death Knight continuing to put in pressure onto these footmen. Footmen gonna try and fall, retreat back, and the Death Knight with that unholy aura could land a little bit more damage onto that footman and then finish him off with a death coil. It looks like that is the plan. That footman, however, getting the memo, you know what, you're getting a little bit too close to low on life. Why don't you retreat back and, well, join the healing party a little bit later. 34 supply compared to 27, but a lot more workers for Blade. Obviously, there is a Water Elemental. Death Knight could get a big Death Coil off onto that Archmage. Archmage, meanwhile, back down to 175 hit points. He's going to try and retreat away. Death Knight should be able to easily catch up to the Archmage with that Unholy Aura. Well, I forgot. Unholy Aura was, well, nerfed just a little bit, as we now see a Lich out on the battlefield. Smart move by Blade to make sure that he is not in trouble. Doesn't want to venture too close to an undead, well, undead base. Not sure when the Lich is going to be out on the field. Suddenly having access to that ranged, well, slowing spell, Frost Nova, dealing large amounts of damage, and that would have been the end of the Archmage. All right. Archmage finishing up some easy creep camps here, and we're going to see some, well, skeletal warriors there. We are building up an arcane vault. We should still see a blacksmith. No, there's that lumber mill back at home as the tech to tier 2 is underway. All right, going to clear out these trees quickly. Blade needs to get a large amount of lumber and get it up and running, as we're looking at the arcane tower now feeding back and going to be able to finish off these guys pretty fast. All right, one skeletal minion already gone. That skeletal minion also going to get finished off here as the Archmage tests the water. Now, let's take a look at the undead base. Undead pretty much doing what you expected, already teching to tier 3, getting up a slaughterhouse and training up some obsidian statues. There will be 2 obsidian statues most likely, followed by that destroyer form upgrade and also purchasing of that orb of corruption. The sudden power jump for undead at tier 3 with that orb of corruption and getting that first obsidian statue is nothing to laugh at, and it's one of the reasons why undead is able to scale in the later game and catch up on those hero levels. Right now, level 2 Death Knight, level 1 Lich, but you're going to see in just a couple of minutes that it's going to probably be a level 3 or level 4 Death Knight and a level 3 Lich going up against a level 3 Archmage and a level 3 Archmage and a level maybe 3 Mountain King, as the Mountain King really needs to be the one to gain all of that experience. Death Knight looking to finish off the last remaining units here. Nope, gonna back away. Death Knight gonna buy that orb of corruption, as we mentioned. Unfortunately, that's gonna further delay him getting to level 3 unless he can get back over here in time to finish off these troll trappers. He might be, oh, yep, he's gonna get back in time, transfer that orb of corruption. That orb of corruption is actually a little bit later than I expected. 120, losing some precious time, not buying it pretty much immediately. There's a death coil straight up onto the Archmage now. Water Elemental, we're gonna see some engagements of a Pit Lord as the 3rd and final hero. So the Pit Lord trying to be brought over. Crypt Fiends already making their way as well. Mountain King now out on the battlefield. 38 supply compared to 45, as the Pit Lord wants to rain down fire across all of these towers here and stop the mining. Lich could end up taking a little bit of damage as well from that arcane tower. Pit Lord going to try to get closer as, yes, taking that arcane feedback damage. Peasant quickly gets finished off as we see a quick devour magic there from that lone destroyer. All right, 2 destroyers are now out in play. They're going to quickly go after that arcane tower. You saw that the destroyers purposely well, absorbed mana, removing that precious arcane tower, and now going to be able to finish off the guard tower as well, as they do deal magic damage. Those obsidian statues, well, quickly transforming into destroyers, devouring those water elementals here, and there's just not enough anti-air early on to deal with this. A beautiful timing tactic push in order to shut down the Expo by getting to tier 3 faster. Flying machines are now out on the battlefield, but the water elementals were just coming across a single file and we're not going to be able to be enough. Now, using the actual geometry or geography of the outpost against his opponent as the Crypt Fiends and all the units are fighting back here. All right, Destroyers should have enough to be able to win out on the battle against those flying machines. Death Knight will have to death coil one of those Destroyers, getting dangerously close, down to 200 hit points, down to 190, 101, and it does get shot down. So 1 Destroyer already down. Death Knight not able to save their Mountain King, however, going to end up falling as we're looking at this Destroyer about to get taken down as well. Are we going to see it? There is a heal, but there is just so many flying machines just flanking on over, causing problems. Lich, well, is surrounded by a bunch of peasants. Rain of fire being rained down on all those peasants there as the Lich says, bring it on. No more Destroyers. Scroll of Town Portal being brought back over. Footman going to get taken down. Water Elemental going to get taken down, giving level 2 to the Pit Lord. Mountain King falling at level 1. There is now a critical mass of flying machines, but I believe Blade can actually overcommit to flying machines if he's not careful. Are we looking at more? No, we're now looking at a transition into abominations. And this has been a common problem for human players. What is the right number of flying machines to train up, especially if you do not have Bombard? Without the ability to attack ground, those flying machines are just putting you closer towards low upkeep without providing any real benefit. We're looking at the Pit Lord, well, pulling back away. Paladin is here nearby. Mountain King should get resurrected pretty fast. And here we are, here we go. We're going to see some Rain of Fire, more dead peasants again as the Scout Tower, Arcane Tower are in position. Flying machines once again not doing very much. We're trying to engage. And, well, the Pit Lord, it does have Cleave going out doing quite a bit of damage. Obsidian statues have a bit of frost armor. There's some Holy Light trying to save. The Obsidian statues are just going to get sniped down here if they're not careful. There goes one. Level 3 now on the Lich. Level 4 now on the Archmage. So it is 3-3-2. Death Knight still wandering around here. There's a Stormbolt onto the Death Knight as the Death Knight is still getting healed up. Goblin Shredder even joining in on the fight to try and prevent some of that hero nuking, but a little bit of focus fire there shuts that down as well. All right, Water Elementals pushing back across here without those Destroyers. The Water Elementals represent a clear and present danger as the Death Knight, now down to 140 hit points, has to be very careful. He's trying to back away. A little bit more damage there. There's a Death Coil. Archmage looks like he's going to finish off the Death Knight. One more attack, down to 11 hit points as the Obsidian statue needs to regroup. Both sides just trying to fight and get into the proper position. Are we going to see a Rain of Fire? No. Potion of Healing run by from the Arcane Vault. Death Knight looks like he's okay. Archmage does not have the boots of speed, drops a Water Elemental, and a beautiful play by Blade here to try and stop, but only to see it reverse back around. A Ghoul now stopping the Archmage. All right, what is going down here? We're going to see a Scroll of Town Portal. Paladin needs the Holy Light back up that Archmage, and now, I believe he did, in order to keep it alive. Pit Lord ends up falling. Low hit point Crypt Fiend able to get away. There are Sundering Blades as the push is going back the other way again. Peasants walking through the fight. Flying machines still just letting them know where those Crypt Fiends. Oh, wow. Day late and $1 short for that Death Coil. The travel distance of the Death Coil making the difference rather than the Paladin's instantaneous Holy Light finishing off a low hit point Crypt Fiend. Hats off. Blade is playing out of his mind right now, coming up with some very clutch plays as the Death Knight was out of mana there after trying to save, after saving Abomination. Flying machines, importantly, still do not have the Bombard upgrade, and really those flying machines are forcing his opponent, or forcing Blade to be in low upkeep, a position he doesn't want to be in. Killing off one peasant would actually give you more gold per second. And right now, 51, 52, the most painful amount of supply to be at. Are we getting, yes, Bombard, Flying Machine Bombs, finally, getting upgraded here. We're going to see, we do have an Archmage with a Staff of Sanctuary. He should be, yes, Staff of Sanctuary, those low hit point knights, as the Flying Machines, can perhaps start hitting or dropping bombs onto those Obsidian statues. Crypt Fiends could try and web down. The Flying Machine's trying to get in a good position here. 7 to 8 damage. That does add up over time, even though it is a relatively slow attack. We're going into an engagement now. And here we are, going into that engagement. Are we going to see some repairs there? Flying Machine's going to try to dive in and get some damage onto those Obsidian statues. All right, couple of quick webs there. And engaging again as the Flying Machines are doing a bit of the damage that they need to. A couple of low hit point ghouls as well could get cleaned up. Archmage not joining in the battle. Actually off to the side here. That range damage does add up, so it's something that should have been added into that fight already. Fly Machine still going after units, still Holy Light trying to save. We could be looking at another Staff of Sanctuary trying to save another low hit point Knight. No, I believe that the Staff of Sanctuary was ready on cooldown. Blade making a misstep there, losing a Knight, an expensive unit, especially when you have Staff of Sanctuary ready to save. Water Elemental trying to hold the door on the far side here. Town Hall only sitting at 500 or 450 hit points and climbing, as we're still looking at a potential fight. There is a Stormbolt onto the Lich. Lich gets a full-on heal. No Orb of Fire to prevent or minimize the healing effectiveness, as the Flying Machines are still trying to engage again. All right, more damage getting racked up. I believe another 400 hit point heal is going to be for that Abomination. A couple of Crypt Fiends could get taken down. There's the Staff of Sanctuary. One Crypt Fiend finally taken out here, as we're looking at a couple of sheep just getting Disease Cloud by that Abomination. Rain of Fire coming across here as the Pit Lord able to back away. More webbing down onto those Crypt Fiends. Abomination is Stormbolt onto the Crypt Fiend, instead heading off down to the southern side. Are we going to see a Death Knight, Death Coil? Archmage trying to finish that off. One or two more shots. There's a Holy Light to finish the job again, as the Obsidian statues are just really diving onto these onto the Obsidian statues, trying to get those last couple of hits, and it looks like one or two more shots should do it. Unholy Aura, Flying Machines trying to get within range, and they will finally get within range here. Are they? They're just flying over. Why aren't they attacking? Come on. Come on. Okay. I do not know what that was about. I do not know what that was about. Coming back through. Water Elemental summoning up a new. I was like, oh, let me get that Obsidian statue. That's, nope, I completely missed another big part of the fight. It was down to 14 hit points. You can't blame me. I thought that was going to happen soon. All right, Flying Machines looking to re-engage here, finally bombarding onto those Obsidian statues. Perhaps it was a move instead of an attack there, as the Crypt Fiend, well, staying alive a little while longer, but it looks like it should get finished off. No, the Frost Armor able to protect enough, as a Stormbolt, well, mails and finishes off a Crypt Fiend there. Once more, the Mountain King still only sitting at level 2 right now. Paladin still only sitting at level 2, as the Undead has taken that hero level advantage. All right. I believe this Obsidian statue, yes, was repaired and will be getting back out onto the battlefield momentarily. Meanwhile, Paladin, Mountain King, oh, there was a Divine Shield, but a little bit late, as it doesn't, as it still lost its effect for that rejuvenation. Flying Machines trying to go after the Obsidian statues, down to 61 hit points. Both sides still looking to engage again, and the Flying Machines are just trying to bombard that Obsidian statue there, but there is a tactical retreat. Knights trying to continue to chase after those units. Crypt Fiend could get taken down. One Crypt Fiend now down there, as the Flying Machines looking to go after another, and it's the same thing. The Flying Machines' movement speed is very fast. It should be able to catch up to that target, but its auto attack is just a little bit too slow in order to finish off that target. You can see that there, and now the Flying Machine is double backing again. Yeah, like Obsidian statues getting away at such low hit points. The attack timing, perhaps just the issue here, as the Flying Machines say, we chased down the target for you. We didn't shoot him down, or we didn't finish him off, even though one more bomb would have done it. All right. I guess showing sympathy to that target there. All right. Stormbolt onto the Lich. Units tactical retreat back out. Paladin down to 250 hit points, trying to come all the way back home, perhaps heal back up. Scroll of Regeneration will be needed. Arcane Tower just trying to fight all in that back position again. Paladin, well, Clarity Potion, Scroll of Regeneration. Knight's going to be coming back, as we do see, well, that Pit Lord with that Rain of Fire dropping down onto these buildings again. All right, this Knight trying to get into position, unable to do so, as a Peasant was right there. Flying Machine's going to perhaps try to get into a little bit of a flank, and using the geography and the layout of the base to, at this outpost to hold back 120. Rain of Fire still raining down here. Flying Machines looking to bombard, finish off a couple of targets or two. 56 supply compared to 62. Army sizes are about the same. Stormbolt onto the Death Knight. Death Knight could be in trouble. Death Knight does have Cloak of Shadows, but is not useful when there's so many Flying Machines revealing True Sight still. We're still looking at a level 2 Paladin and a level 2 Mountain King after all this time. If Blade cannot get to level 3... Oh! transfer of the potion of healing, not in time, but could not use the item, and that Mountain King falls at level 2. Having such low-level heroes at this point in and stage in the game, not having that odd level is making a profound difference, as we're looking at some Crypt Fiends about to get taken down again. There goes another Crypt Fiend there, as the Archmage tries to finish up against perhaps a couple more Abominations. That Abomination down to 396 hit points, could end up getting taken down. There's a Crypt Fiend, there's a Death Coil, going after some of those other units again as the Flying Machines looking to finish off some targets. Paladin, that 15-second invulnerability lasting a fairly long time, well, 15 seconds, as the Paladin is still looking to finish off or perhaps try to Staff of Sanctuary some other units back home. There is a Staff of Sanctuary on the Mountain King. However, he's currently out of commission as the Paladin may fall. Paladin may fall down to 15 hit points, down to 2 hit points. The Paladin with the Disease Cloud able to retreat back home or fall back here. Archmage is going to go ahead and use the Scroll of Town Portal, and he's going to head back, taking back that entire army as well. All right, is there an Arcane Vault back here? No, there is not. There's a Mountain King. Mountain King, someone should Staff of Sanctuary that Paladin. That Paladin should not be in this battle at all. There you go. Mountain King, Staff of Sanctuary and the Paladin. Archmage going to drop a Water Elemental here and go after this base here. Disease Cloud is going to make it difficult for the Archmage to really regenerate any more hit points as the Mountain King now gets up to level 3. Staff of Sanctuary, one of those items that are just so useful both in a fight or just out of combat to try and refresh your units. Paladin, however, only about halfway ready to join in on that battle, as there is a battle now at the outpost. Arcane Tower Peasants trying to keep this town hall up. It looks like it will finally fall. The Flying Machines perhaps did not know that, well, the base was here already. Archmage being brought into the battle could, be on the wrong side of a Death Coil Frost Nova, but the Death Knight and the Death Knight and the other units were just a little bit too far, trying to get in a little bit more damage. Archmage trying to back away, should get a Holy Light from the Paladin sometime soon. Paladin is right there. Come on, get a Holy Light. Nope. All right, no Holy Light. Perhaps going to try and go after the Lich instead. The two heroes are just watching the fight. So there have been some brilliant moments by Blade, and now also some moments where he just needs to bring in the heroes into the battle. Death Knight, Mountain King, unable to finish off the Death Knight there. Mountain King falls at level 3. Death Knight now with an Invul Potion. It has come to an end. Death Knight now down to 136 hit points. Are we going to see a Holy Light onto the Archmage? Yes, we do. Saving the Archmage, but at what cost? As we now see Rain of Fire. There's a Staff of Sanctuary transfer to the Paladin. Paladin can try to Holy Light, finish off the Death Knight. Death Knight now down to 75 hit points. He levels up in order to survive here. 47 supply compared to 53. The Knights are trying to chase after these targets again, as the Paladin, the Paladin is just trying to Holy Light the Death Knight again, and he does so. Level 4 now on the Death Knight, as the level 5, or level 4 on the Paladin as the level 5 Death Knight falls. As the battle is still raging on here. There's some more Rain of Fire again. Paladin continuing this battle. Lich could get blasted down. Yes, Holy Light finishes the job. And then Paladin now using that 30-second invulnerability. Going after a couple more Crypt Fiends again. Obsidian Statue down. Crypt Fiend now down. Paladin now up to level 5 here. Gonna go after the Obsidian Statue and finishes the job. In a battle where everything was so low on hit points, it was just going to take a little bit of focus fire, a little bit of attention to detail to get the job done. Job was done. That Paladin able to finish off that Death Knight. Archmage was saved, teleporting back home, and I know it may not sound like much since the Archmage wasn't in the last battle, in those last moments, but I think the Archmage falling would have given the Lich a little bit more experience and perhaps leveled it up as well. A little bit more mana. That game was just playing on a very, very delicate balance to figure out who was going to win. And Blade playing great at some times and overcoming some mistakes later on, coming away with the victory. Let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments below.